our discussion on the problem-solving process. We talked about a little bit on Monday that there are consequences to doing problem-solving. Last time we discussed, well, just another example of somebody who's done an incredible amount of problem-solving. And today I wanted to go over one more example of a problem-solving process that, in my opinion, was really well done and then died. How many of you remember or have ever ridden on a Segway?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, a lot more than the morning class. Morning class only had 2 people. I got the chance to ride a Segway this past year. It was fun. It was terrifying, but that's part of what made it fun. When Segways were first introduced in 2001, the goal of the Segway was that it was going to be some great and grand experience. This was going to replace walking. This was going to be for anybody who has to commute half a mile, quarter of a mile, anybody who needs to walk from the airport to another place, even getting around the airport. Today's world, Segways are still not very common. The overall Segway it never took off the way that the designer intended. They had a massive release. The news coverage about the Segway back in 2001 was just enormous. It was hyped as transportation of the future. Really caught on with the mainstream media. But then they never really sold what they were expecting to sell. And it has made access to these Segways much more difficult. Does anybody know why the Segway never caught on? Yeah. Some of it was cost. Yeah, definitely some of it was how bulky it is. Oh, okay. You had an idea?
Oh, no. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, some of it was that. Some of it was the company tried doing a bunch of marketing campaigns. The slogan that they had most for this Segway is it's as natural as walking. You learn how to walk when you're a baby. You intrinsically know what it takes to be able to walk. You know to lean forward and step. Do you have something to say? Okay. Just really in tune to anybody moves their hands. It was really touted as being very natural, but for everybody who's used it, were you afraid of falling off of it?
Yeah, so
You get on it, and the first thing you think is, oh man, how ready am I to face the ground? It's really scary. After you get used to it, it can get really comfortable. But yeah, I got a video I got to show you. This dang, I don't have my. I gotta get my connector cable because I can't hook up to this. Unless this will work. Oh, that totally will. Please go to the projector. Dang it. No, that's not gonna work. To bring so much technology to class just to use the projector. I'm gonna pull it up on this screen if I can.
not that big.
I don't even know how to use this.
Figure it out.
Just because I'm a professor doesn't mean I'm good with technology.
You're an engineer. Problem solving.
Yeah, it's a problem-solving process. But there's like no computer that mounts to this. So why is it even hooked to the projector?
That's the problem.
That's the problem. So you know what? I'm gonna go get my adapter and friggin' use my laptop.
There you go.
You want to teach this class? Just get up in front. I'll be right back.
You should use PHY. It's a browser extension that automatically compares and...
Okay, so this is a video that's produced by, I think it's CNN Business. I think it was this year, just talking about the history of Segway, and covers a lot of things that you probably don't know.
I think it's time.
Do we have to do something here, or does it...
Hold on. It's all right. I gotta make sure that people online can watch it too.
This is a story about Segway.
This is the world's first self-balancing human transport. All the knowledge that went into knowing how to walk is transferred to this machine.
Upon its unveiling in 2001, the Segway human transporter's hype was similar to today's hype around Tesla, with the same message. This product is going to revolutionize transportation forever.
I believe the Segway HT will do for walking what the calculator did for pen and pencil. You'll get there quicker, you'll go further, anywhere people walk.
The big problem, anywhere people walk. Segway was Dean Kamen's solution to an old challenge. It's called the last mile. It's the inefficiency inherent in getting from the train station to your front door, from a bus stop to your desk at work. It's the leg of your daily journey where you have no choice but to walk. Segway was finally going to make this 6 million year old act of walking better. So why didn't it? What happened to the company some said was going to be bigger than the internet?
I made some pretty bold predictions about Segway that were wrong. I said it would be the fastest company to do $1 billion in revenue ever, and of course I was wrong.
By 2007, Segway's personal transporters had only met a mere 1% of their original projected sales. Along with a hefty $5,000 price tag, sales of the Segway PT were hurt by yet another problem.
People looked at the Segway and it's like, oh, you're a geek.
Simply put, the Segway PT just wasn't cool.
The body of the British man, who liked the Segway so much he bought the company, was found, along with his machine, in this river near his home in northern England.
The owner of Segway, the company, dying on a Segway was both a tragedy and a PR nightmare. Shortly afterwards, medical researchers noticed a growing trend. Severe Segway-related injuries were on the rise. After that, Segways were relegated to the realm of mall cops and tourists. The company's mission to change the future of transportation had failed. But when all hope was lost, Segway got another chance.
Now, Segway has been acquired by its Chinese rival Ninebot.
Chinese scooter maker Ninebot bought the company.
The benefit to Segway immediately is it gives us better access to the Chinese market.
Suddenly, Segway was an integral part of a newer movement in mobility, electric scooter sharing. It's a market that could reach nearly $30 billion by 2025. Segway's new parent company, Ninebot, is one of two leading scooter suppliers for growing companies like Lime and Bird that in turn are deploying them on city streets across the globe. But when you get down to it, Lime, Bird, and Ninebot are still trying to solve the same problem Segway was back in 2001.
The last mile is the problem, and half the world now lives in dense cities. And people spend, depending on who they are, between 90 and 95% of their energy getting around on foot. This one is set to about 12 miles an hour, which is 4 times walking speed. So what used to take you a half an hour would take you 7, 8, 9 minutes.
The hope was that we would change the world. And now, you know, perhaps if the world has changed and it wasn't changed by us, that would have been okay. It's much less, I think, ultimately about who does it and more about the fact that it's been done.
Segway, if you look in the dictionary, says a smooth transition from one position or idea to another. And this is a nice way to go from one place to another, and it is an idea.
B&H is here.
So, the guy who bought Segway died on a Segway. That's pretty bad. Be akin to Steve Jobs building the iPhone and then having the iPhone kill him. Or having Elon Musk die because he's autonomously letting his Tesla drive him, and then it drives into a bus or something and explodes. He is, and I mean he's putting himself in danger. And there was an impact. I think this past week where Tesla on autopilot hit a police car on the side of the road, and it messed up both cars pretty badly. The guy was watching a video on his phone and just wasn't paying attention to the road because this Tesla was driving for him. These kinds of technologies, while great, sometimes have the consequences too. It's hard to argue that Segway was not an extraordinary piece of technology. It was the first of its kind. had amazing sensor systems, had amazing feedback systems, had amazing control systems, but they weren't 100% perfect. And even though it did revolutionize the way we saw technology, there were significant and substantial issues that really prevented it from becoming something great. And here there was a there is a video somewhere where George W. Bush actually rode on a Segway, and the guy is saying, "Oh yeah, you'll never fall off," and then he does. And that alone, I mean, it's bad publicity. The Segway just dealt with the fact that they made claims they couldn't justify, even though it technically solved. Okay, yeah, we have got to watch these funny Segway fails. Oh, I don't want to answer a survey. Oh no! Ah! So. Oh, a piece of it flew off. Showing off driving without hands.
And then the Hummer.
Oh yeah.
He's about to mow down some pedestrians.
more people trouble.
All right, so if you ask me, yes, okay, the owner of the company dying on a Segway, it's pretty bad. But if you ask me, that's the reason why Segways never really took off. As much fun as it would be to have something like that, nobody wants to put themselves in danger trying to get somewhere. Oh, it was a lot of fun though. Okay. I have a quiz for you. Let me post real quick. What's that? I know, I'm sorry. I graded most of them. I think I'm still missing 2. But that will not be hard for me to finish. Let me publish this real quick. By the way, we did have somebody mention Elon Musk, so they got an extra point. That was the hidden extra bonus question. Somehow, I'm kidding, but definitely, yeah. If you know me well enough that you can tailor my quiz, yeah, heck yeah, I'm giving you extra bonus points.
Instead, because he said Jesus was the answer to everything.
Oh, that's funny. Hoping that, he actually made them turn in real work and you could just... Then that's funny. Okay, so the 2 questions that you're going to have for this quiz is basically just a discussion. I want to hear your opinion, okay? And I want you to voice your opinion. It doesn't have to be something super long, but what it does have to be is it's got to be thoughtful, okay? The first question is, what problem did the Segway attempt to solve? What was it that they were trying to do? And then the second question is, did the Segway, it did solve the problem that the designer wanted it to solve. It did, which is why they ultimately produced it. But what is it that made the Segway ultimately die when it came to market? Even though it solved the problem, why didn't it become more successful? And the quiz should be live now. So this one, I'm not looking for huge paragraphs of explanation. Just give me maybe 1, 2, 3 sentences on each. That should be good enough. Make sure that you show that you're critically thinking. If you just say something like, oh, well, it sucked. Like that, anybody can say that about anything. That could have been the other answer to every single problem, is it sucks. All right. While you're working on that, I will be taking a